Hopefully. I think that'll be good. Probably should actually see what the options here are. Full screen, value options, scaling, dodge controls. No stick. That's interesting. And maybe using the PC controls on this one. You hear game sound, everything's good. I'll give a minute or two for people to get in. Good at Wednesday stream for like 90 minutes or so. Taking a look at an indie game that just came out. Seems like a good Wednesday. Hopefully we won't have a lot of drilling in the background, but it is getting late, so I'm assuming he's going to wrap it up. If not, we'll work through it. Alright, well, hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Night of the Blood Moon. It is a top-down shooter with a very unique art style. It reminds me, I don't want to say it reminds me of Juicy Realm, but it reminds me of that offshoot of, this is not Enter the Gungeon, this is not Juicy Realm, but it's a little bit similar. It's got some different weaponry that it claims to have, and I'm just going to get right into it. Looks like we don't really have a choice here. Yeah, we're going to buy... Boomerang will break on walls during return. Less melee damage when not holding. Well, I guess we're using that. Okay, so we have a melee attack. It looks like our wings are boomerangs. Oh, those are corpses. Eee. I don't know. What I don't know is what those things in the corner mean, because the game hasn't really taught me anything. So that's a little bit of a weird start. I'm assuming those will be my side weapons, because it did say that it breaks when it hits the wall. Congratulations, you win another go. Okay. Let's see. Plus HP, plus damage, and less melee range. Let's get a random pet and some life. So it looks procedurally generated. Oh, is that my pet? I'm not even sure what he's doing right now. What games do you think right now will be closer to the top of your 2019 list? Probably Zanky Zero is my guess. Anything along that Spike Chunsoft path is probably going to do well. Trying to think of like, the problem is like with indie games, it's really hard. Like it really comes down to the games that I typically look at are the ones that are in that middle area or no one has ever heard of. So it's really hard to predict those portions. But I know Zanky Zero will probably be one. I don't see that having anything other than a really good score just based off that. The Resident Evil 2 remake may... The problem is that with the Resident Evil 2 remake portion, it may not actually earn itself on the list because it's a remake. But the funny part about that is that it's different enough because they've changed enough things that I wonder, you know, maybe it does deserve to be on the list. Is this a Goron who's... My pet drops bombs. That's interesting. So there's an experience meter, which is interesting to say the least. So, okay, so it will bounce off walls. And if I hold it down, it seems to go a reasonable distance, but not that much. I'm just wondering if those are skill uses. Okay, I do have a dodge ability, which looks really weird. It looks like I'm actually attacking when I'm doing it. Go ahead, Dynasty. Link it to the Discord because I don't think it'll allow it here. And what's up, Ignat? Is that the enemy? What is the enemy that I'm missing here? Oh. Nice job. You killed it. It doesn't tell you to hit the space bar to go on to the next section, which is a little bit odd. Corpses deal damage? Sure. I'll take a look in a second. Whoa, there's a lot more enemies this time around. I like the candle enemies. I like the smiley face and the little wax portion of it. Oh, I was told to get good. So it looks like those hearts are bombs, too. Alright, fine. What's this? Ammo cost 1, upgrade bullet piercing. Good luck on your exam. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi, though. Oh, I see. So the feathers were just ammo that... Now I sort of want to stop and look at what this is. With it only being mouse controls... Like, so it looks like there's a mouse controls and a use of the Xbox 3 or one controller, but only the D-pad, which, like right now, sort of sucks because I can't actually select anything. So it looks like it really wants keyboard and mouse. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at this. Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah, I like the design and everything, and I like the fact that they include the Monokuma portion in it. But man, $400, that's getting up there in the cost portion. I probably will, like, I'll probably look out for it over time, see when it gets a little bit cheaper. Because I do like good figures, like really good ones. So, there's a focus on melee combat with the weapon here, so it's... I actually don't like it as much as the boomerang because the boomerang comes back, and even though I'm gaining health from killing these things, it looks like I feel like I'm always in danger. Now, one thing I will say, and again, part of the thing that you have to realize is that I look at these games critically. The cursor. When you're designing a game like this, one of the things you want to make clear is where your cursor is at all times. Making it a 3x3 pixel with one red pixel in the middle and one pixel of the white on each side is a very bad way of doing it, because it can get lost. Like here. Like, where am I specifically? I gotta really look to see where my cursor is. Now, before I really give the game shit for that, though, I want to look at the options here. Okay, I can show hit numbers. Okay, great. But it looks like I can't change that cursor. So that's going to be, like, really hard for certain people, especially those with hard of sight, or specifically red and green colorblindness. Because they're just going to have major problems trying to see that little cursor. So, I mean, if the dev ever were to watch this, it would be my first recommendation. Is, you know, I like the color schemes that you're working with here. I'm liking the fact that your character's purple, but you got a greenish background. Most everything is easier to see except for the green enemies, but the green enemies are stealthy. So, yeah, it makes sense that you would want them to blend in a little bit more. That's sort of their purpose. But what I will say is that what I don't like is the game didn't teach me anything going in. So it just said, okay, you're going to learn through attempts. And so, like, I died to this thing because it's like, oh, it's a heart. Oh, it's a bomb. It's not exactly what you would first think. We're going full memes here. We're going plus ultra, really? A Boku no Hero Academia reference? Damage, max HP, ammo max, dash into projectiles. Yeah, I'm gonna take the ammo max. Now, did I misread that? That said max ammo +2, right? I'm pretty sure it did. And I only see one in the corner there. Alright. Upgrade Unbreakable. Will break on walls during return. Yeah, but I don't see that being a real problem. I mean, the thing is that, like, it's great to have, like, a really precise, like, you know, long-range weapon. But, again, I'm going to point to the cursor. If you can't really understand where the cursor is and get that precision, it's going to be hard to use. It's going to be difficult to see, oh, that's where the cursor is and that's where I'm going to aim. And really, I feel like the boomerang is much better in this kind of closed in space. What I will notice is that there's actually pretty good shadow work. No, hold on a second. I want to see. Okay. So you got these light sources. Like, okay, I get it that, you know, there's a light at the top of the top of the dungeon, but you have these light sources and you see the shadow there and it's very clear, and then I kill it and the shadows are still there? I mean, it's a little strange, I'm not gonna lie. Thoughts of the one I just linked you. Well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about what you just linked me. First of all, that's not Nagato. That is not Nagato. Nagato was from Danganronpa 2. He was the. I mean, this guy is crazy too, but this is not Nagato. So already it loses points. Obviously, they don't care about the series if they can't even get the people's names right. Alright, I'm gonna go with a more health-based this time around. Like, the funny thing is that, like, there's not necessarily a big challenge here, but, like, it just overwhelmed. Like, that those melee characters just get overwhelmed immediately. I feel like the balance is a little bit off. My second point about it is that... Hold on, let me bring it back up here. Hold on. Oh, that's good to hear on Luigian. The second is that it's not... This is gonna sound weird, but that's not that character's MO. Like that character is a take charge character. So I don't see him laying down to be the obvious cuddly as opposed to the cuddler. I don't need a body pillow. Explosives, more health drops. Okay, so do I just get a random pet, it looks like? So I wonder, are the skills different each time on each run? I think it may be. I'll have to check that, because if that's the case, that's interesting. If they're different on each run, so you got to pay attention. You can't just make a specific build to get through it. You have to actually really think about how you're going to do this specific run. Yeah, they do have to. They have to like go with the personalities. I don't see why they wouldn't. You could even you could even play it off in that case by giving him the swirly eyes, the confusion eyes, if you wanted that in that case. People have absolutely no idea what I'm probably talking about right now. Yeah, I'll get more HP. So dashing makes you invulnerable. Is there no... Doesn't seem to be a... Okay, so I lost my boomerang. So that's the downside of using the boomerang, is that you can lose it with it breaking. That is a very good question, and like in the story, there is a point where you see her when she's younger, but it's not that young. Don't like that I couldn't re-choose that. I just wanted to see what it was, and it looked like it. Come on. We're going to play a little bit less aggressive. Yeah, those guys just come all right at you at that point. I like how he brought the item to me. The funny thing is the appeal of that character is the fact that she's more mature. Like that she's the competent swordsman. The not like, you know, the badass swords. Well, no, like the badass swordsman. So that's weird that it would use that as the idea for who to target there. Especially because the fact is that Danganronpa 2 already has a character that falls into the lowly subcategory in what's her name? I always forget her name. Okay, so for some reason we have pianos this time around and music. So, let me get this straight. Is that a slide flute it's using? Yoko, okay, yeah. So, first impressions right now. The game's got some weird, like, balance elements where, like, I don't feel like I'm being challenged, but there's obviously a challenge to it. But what I really don't like immediately is that I don't know what the rules are. Like, I don't know what the rule is for when my boomerang breaks. It's that clear. And that is a problem when you have a game that obviously has some ranged elements to it that you don't know exactly how it's going to play out. $1,500 for a body pillow may be a little bit much. I mean, what is the body pillow made of is my question that makes it cost that much. Like, what you just showed me that. Like, the one you showed me was 50, so which ones are you really looking at that are that expensive? Plus HP. No, so that was, so it's based off your weapon, but it does randomize these skills. Like the pet was in the first slot. Okay. So it does randomize it a little bit. And it does randomize the the helper that you get. I wish it would tell me what helper did what. Again, the game's not really giving me a lot of good information. Don't burn yourself. That would be that would be preferable. So yeah, there's some weird, like, the fact that the game doesn't teach you anything is an immediate turnoff for me, because again, you don't necessarily have to teach the player a lot of things. Like in Enter the Gungeon, you didn't really have to teach the player a lot, but it should be pretty easy to understand what your circumstances are. Like, when does this break? Like, you didn't have that kind of mechanic in Enter the Gungeon, for example. So it does get a little bit of points off there. I don't know what my companion's doing. Like, he obviously is doing something, but unsure what. Yeah, more health drops is obviously the way to go here. Like, what killed those enemies? Like, I literally spawned in and immediately they were dead. And like if you're gonna use like hearts for your bombs, you know, you're asking for trouble, especially because your hearts are also your health. So you're sort of going against your own design, almost like you're trying to troll the player. But give me reasons why you'd want to troll me this early on. This is a top-down, I want to say roguelite shooter. Simplistic, that's for sure. Where did my companion go, is my question. You won. Congratulations. You're a murderer. Well, thank you. Minus attack speed. See, like, I don't necessarily want some of these skills. Especially with what you've shown me in terms of, like, these enemies being so speedy. And I'm not sure how I was going to dodge any of that. Like, you got to give me a chance to respond. Do I get health from defeating an enemy? Like, I don't know the rules. That's a big problem. I don't know the rules. How am I supposed to succeed if the rules are so hard to understand? Now, the presentation isn't necessarily bad, but... Okay, so I'm assuming it unlocks it via a grid system. So, yeah. Like, why music in this level all of a sudden? I find that weird. You go from like regular like candles and other stuff like that, and now you got harps playing at you. It's like a Looney Tunes game, but and like, all right, okay, so I don't have my boomerang right now. I don't know what caused my boomerang to go away. You got to make that more clear. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to take out those tuba players as this character in particular. I by the time I get over to them, they're already attacking. Darkness, my favorite mechanic. Hey, it could work in certain cases. Gotta be very careful here. Because I got 1 health. Okay, so it can get stuck on things. And it's hard to tell at times what it's getting stuck on. Well, that's the thing. So the tuba, if you noticed its mouth, it seemed like it was playing a slide whistle. Like, it had an animation like it was a slide whistle, which is weird. No. No. No, Dynasty. No, okay, I only got 1 point, so I can't even use those. Stay away from me. I'm gonna play the ranged game. Yeah, see, look at what he's pointing at you. It looks like a flute or a whistle. Yeah, I don't see that being a good. She is a great Konosuba waifu, but I'm pretty sure she's underage. I think she just turned of age as of the latest manga, and no. I'm not obligated now. I prefer focusing on the characters and their strengths, not necessarily other things. Grab onto enemies and walls, deals extra damage. Okay. So now I have Scorpion's hook. But there's a stun period where if I hit the wall, I can't use it until I kill an enemy. Or is it that I have to kill an enemy for me to reuse it? Okay, so there's an ammo. And for some reason, the ammo counts even though it's a hook. There's just some strange rules about this game. I'll take the HP. So I must admit that like right now my first inkling on this game is no. It doesn't have that factor where you feel like the game is playing on the same level as what it's expecting you to. And I admit, like, even with the new weapon, the variety is going down. Like, I face these enemies over and over again, but there's not much difference to them right now. I'll take more HP. Why would I get ammo if it's just... I'll take a look in a second. Well, okay. Because people have a lot of weird fetishes. Let's just put it that way. Okay, what is Eclipse mode? Requires all weapons are unlocked. Okay, sure. Sticking with the boomerang. I must admit, like if I was doing my underrated games list and I had gotten this far in the game and I already had these much complaints, I would already be like, okay, I'm moving on to the next one. which I did with a couple of the ones that I was looking for the Overlooked Games Year list, but I don't think this game is going to make a recommendation right now. See, like, I was able to select that, but, like, I haven't changed, so why are you, like, forcing me to... Like, let me, like, choose it and then be like, oh, wait, no, I don't want that. Those things remind me of, like, Polyworlds, but they're not Polyworlds, but... Okay, so there's a random treasure chest that has items or pets or something in them at all times. Doesn't really explain why the bed is here, though. Like, what is going on story-wise? Like, the game doesn't explain anything story-wise, but... Like, why a bed? Oh. Obviously. Like, how was I supposed to dodge that? The guy is off screen at that point. I don't even know he exists. And yet, the game is expecting me to dodge that attack when he's running off screen. That's not fair to the user. That's not fair to somebody who's playing the game and expecting them to actually react. So dash doing a damage, and you're supposed to be invulnerable while dashing. So yep, nope. I must admit, I am not a fan. So, this is not an early access game. And I mean, I appreciate that the game is giving me these options. You already seem to indicate that you realize that the cursor is an option with the goals. Redo melee animation, add Steam work for cursors. Yeah, I'd love a different cursor. The premise of this game is supposed to be, and I'll quote it, "For too long, skeletons have been on the blunt force receiving end. Give them a break and time to recover by embracing the power of darkness. A difficult roguelike with unique weapons, charming manifestations. Become the nightmare and grow your power by conquering imaginative lands and defeat bosses who will challenge your strategy along with your skill." I'm not even getting anywhere near that in this experience right now. Like, you don't have to have a story. I mean, arcade games don't usually have a story most of the time, but if you're going to tell me, oh, these far-off lands and things like that, then I'm going to expect a story then. Minus damage, but more melee range. That may be useful. So I can... But doing 1 damage now is... sort of sucks. Especially when you have to click every time the melee, you can't hold it down. I mean, I'm assuming that they're working off the things like, okay, there's walking candles, but yeah, no, I would agree. Like, my bigger concern is like, okay, if you're gonna go with far off imaginative lands, then why are we in a room like a bed? Like, what's the bed? What purpose does the bed serve right now in this game? Yeah, I'll watch my back, sure. This may be a shorter stream tonight because I don't like. The funny thing is that the game is functional, and it technically works, but I think it's one of those games where it's like it's in the middle. It's competent, but it's also boring and repetitive, and it's not necessarily something I would play for a long period of time. Take that heart. The range is helping, but like having to deal more damage is really starting to wear on me. Yeah, okay, so the stun, and immediately he starts up. So, yeah, I'm not... My quick recommendation on this game right now is a pass. I don't see what the game is going to do to keep me entertained over a period of time. Sure, Dynasty. Like the random quotes, welcome to damnation. You like, so when you're going to use like memes and things like that in your game, you got to realize that it needs to serve a purpose. Like it can't just be memes. Like the memes got to make sense in the context of what you're trying to tell. And I feel like this game is like, oh, I'm just gonna have these catchphrases and hope that it sort of like people don't necessarily look at the context of it. Because yeah, you could meme all you want, but memes mean a lot more when you put it in the right situation. Like you can't just link a meme and hope people laugh if you like do it at the wrong time. Apparently I'm going all damage here. Which is somewhat working, except for the fact that I took one hit and I'm already, or 2 hits and I'm already down to 1 HP. All right, you linked it on Discord. Huh, interesting. I don't think I've heard of Evan's Lost Property. I mean, it seems like a good one. I don't know the characters, I admit. Okay, need the health, that's for sure. Now we're at tuba level. Let me check to see if it's their first game. I believe it is. It's a one-man operation. Tyler McDermott. It is. I know it was kickstarted. So like for a one-man game, I mean that's the problem. It's like, okay, it's a one-man game. All right, fine. $8. We've hit this point with games nowadays where it's just like, yeah, it's $8. It's probably not necessarily a bad value per se, but with so many games out there and so many games on sale, it's like it's hard to justify it. This is Night of the Blood Moon. It's a top-down shooter. It is, I want to say, mediocre at best. I see. I didn't realize that they had migrational patterns. Like, I liked the, like, yeah, the design of our protagonist here is a little bit interesting. Like the hooded, like the head of a raven, but like the claw arms. I don't want to say claw arms, but the arms are a little bit interesting to say the least. I don't know what this heart thing does. I really wish I knew what this heart guy did. He just sort of follows me around, goes away when when I get that hit. Oh, he took a hit for me. Okay. I figured it out, but I wish the game would have been a little bit more explicit about, oh, that's what he does. I guess I'll have to watch that. I've got a lot of anime to catch up on. That's for sure. Come on, Boomerang. Now, I like the Boomerang. I like the fact that the Boomerang is like this mid-ranged element that can work. I also like the fact that you could actually lose it now that I know that, you know, what the criteria are after playing around with it. Come on. There we go. I also like the random skill trees. Like, I like the fact that that adds a little bit of replayability to it. Yeah, I could see that with Binding of Isaac too, especially like, even like, there is a sort of a novelty of learning an item at first, like, oh, this is, I don't know what this item does, let me play around with it. But then at that point, be very clear about what it does. It's a roguelite, but not really. Like, it is, but, and it's got that harsh difficulty, but like, if you're looking for a lot of mechanics, I mean, the game is pretty simple in its mechanics. There are some unlockables with your starting weapons that make it feel like it's a little bit more of the light version than like. That would get annoying over like several levels. Like, the slide is getting really annoying to begin with right now. Oh, weapon damage, yeah, definitely weapon damage. Like, I don't know what I'm working towards either. Like, is this just gonna go on until I die? Like, it's very unclear what the circumstances, like, how do I win? Like, and I know, like, with, like, roguelikes, it can be like, oh, well, until you know, fall down, but I don't know. Just... Oh, I lost my... Oh. The conductor apparently arrived. Is that the boss? Oh, it looks like the boss. Yeah, I'm one feather off from unlocking the next weapon. Alright, we're gonna do bullet piercing, because that's a thing. Like, I like that there's different weapon types, but again, like this long-range weapon is great and all, but here's the thing. That cursor is so small, it is so hard to see. Like, I really need an option to change that. Oh, at least I got a pet. I also don't know why did I get the HP? Why did I get things back? Like, sometimes it's item drops. Okay, fine. Sometimes it's not. Okay, fine. Like, I feel like the game is not even keeping consistent with its own rules, because I don't know what the rules are, and it's not very easy to define what the rules are themselves. Which, in a roguelike, like, in certain elements, that is gonna be a major factor, because you have to use your strategy, you have to use your skills. Yeah, you're not gonna know everything, but you need to know some of the basics. And I feel like this game doesn't understand that. I feel like it doesn't understand the cores of what makes a good roguelike, or roguelite, or a top-down shooter for that matter. Like, he understands some of the concepts behind things, but maybe not necessarily the whys. Yeah, the game needing additional characters. I'm wondering if, like, if I get through the boss, that it's going to do that. If that, like, the conductor is an additional character here, but as you can see, like, sometimes you get these enemies that just pop on top of you. All right. Each usage, careful not to hurt better base spell. Okay. That doesn't really describe anything. What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. Okay. That's effective, but... So I'm assuming it's based off color. Okay, so it's out of juice. Okay, interesting. It does have, for a bird, it has ridiculously long legs. It's like an ostrich almost, right? Yeah, I'm gonna take the HP and the dash. So it looks like with this weapon, I get like 3 charges per level in use. Which is okay in certain cases. But... Oh no, it looks like I can use it. So wait, what are the weapon types is to give health? So I'm assuming there's got to be, besides the ammo usage, there's got to be some real downside to this, because like this seems like ridiculously overpowered compared to everything else then. Because I still have the melee. Also, how are these things dropping feathers if they're not made of feathers? That's a little weird, isn't it? Oh, apparently I could upgrade that. Sure. You know, I should have known that because it did say that the weapon had a certain properties when upgraded. But I didn't think that it would upgrade... Thank you for the health. Thank you for taking the health. So wait, are you just gonna keep on shocking forever? Like, why would I change from you now? I'm not even sure what killed me. I'm not even sure what killed me. All right. I guess I'll keep going. I want to see if there's an extra character here, so I'm gonna keep on going to see if there's an extra, because that's gonna make a big difference for the playability here. Like, I'm not gonna right now. I'm not in a recommendation mode. I'm not in a this game has got too many base problems for me to say, yeah, this game is gonna be worth it at a certain price point. Yeah, it's only $8.99, but you know, you can get a lot better for paying a little bit more, or even less depending on the sales. What's my pet this time? Oh, it's Bomb Boy. Like, I don't like the fact that in that case, like, I walked down there, the camera was sort of lagging behind me, and then all of a sudden, everything's right there. Yeah, I have to say, it like, I appreciate one-man team efforts. Like, I do. Like, it takes a lot to make a game. Don't get me wrong. But, and I appreciate that he tried something different here. Like, there's some legitimately interesting elements, like with that orb, but it just does not have the rhythm of what you would expect out of a game like this. Like the best thing I would say is the boomerang weapon. Like I like the fact that the boomerang weapon exists and that it provides a very different strategy from everything else. And it's the default one. Like I could see other games taking that boomerang mechanic and working with it. In fact, I could see a whole like Legend of Zelda type experience using that boomerang. Yeah, it has some problems, but like you said, why play this over Gungeon or Isaac or something else? It's really hard to say why you do that. Oh, I need 2 points to upgrade it. Okay, sure, whatever. I'm going to go with a ranged run here because I took the skill that lowers my melee damage but ups its range. So I'm going to focus on keeping enemies at bay with it. And hopefully I can get to the Constructo dude. Conductor. Yeah, I recommended it at the time. I don't remember where it landed on my top games of the gameplay of the game year. Gameplay games of the year list of that year. I want to say it was in somewhere in the like 5-4 range. I've been meaning to play Hades. I just haven't gotten to it yet, like most of the games. Upgrade the boomerang. Boomerang won't break. That's good. Like, the shadow work is great and all, but like, I feel like it doesn't belong in it. Is that weird to say? It doesn't seem to like belong in this game. Yeah, I could see that being a really good Switch title. All damage minus no. That is an interesting question, Dynasty. If I have to give an answer in the rare case that not sure why I died there, would probably be Mercy from Overwatch. This has been a weird stream. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. I mean, this is me we're talking about. There's always going to be weirdness when it comes to me, but this has been a weird stream. Like, the weird, like the momentum here that you get off the use of the grappling hook is just, I don't know, it's strange. That melee range is also really small when you take the downgrade to get the damage boost. I feel like I gotta be like right on top of enemies. Like, I didn't even realize what I necessarily grabbed there. Like, I went through that this time. I wish it would, like, hold off on screen. Like, hey, you can't see where you're going to. I'm gonna stop before... Do I want to look? Of course it exists. Why wouldn't it? All right, I'm gonna play for another 25 and try to get this to that conductor guy again, but yeah, I just don't see that being happening right now. I guess I should get progress. The disappointments list is coming along with the other lists, as you may have seen me on Steam. And if you are in the Discord and want to add me on Steam, I'll link my Steam in the Discord. I've been playing Dragon Quest XI for my end of the year lists. I will be also playing Ni no Kuni 2, a little bit more crosscode, because I feel like that's gonna get a little bit more on the list, or higher on the list, I should say, with me playing a little bit more. As I mentioned before, I made the stupid mistake of leaving all the RPGs till the end of my year list, and of course, those are gonna take the most time, so I'm dumb. Granted, I would still be spending the same amount of time on them, but I just find it weird that I waited till the last minute on all of them. That's a lot of different designs. Like, obviously something damaged them at the start of that round, and I don't know what. Ni no Kuni. Have you played Octopath? That is another one I need to try. Oh, there are a lot of good RPGs that went under the radar this year. Dash distance. I did start it. I will be playing it more after the end of the year deliberations. Because I still have to continue my review series of like how I go about reviewing games, like for those big reviews. Because people have definitely asked, hey, you know, where's the next video in that series? And it's coming. It's just I've got the notes that I want to take down on them. Specifically, the next part is how I take notes during like my gaming sessions. Not these guys, but when I'm actually like sitting down to review a game by itself, without any streaming, just footage and me taking notes. The RPG is making a little bit of a comeback. At least the more traditional sense RPGs. All right. We're going to be extra careful because we're in the music section. And as I said that, I take damage for the first time. I need this. Remember to pronounce things properly. Yeah? Yeah, you don't want to look at my backlog. I don't want to look at my backlog because my backlog scares me. But I'm always looking for the newer games to review because obviously people want to know more about those in most cases, especially those undercover indie gems. Okay, the conductor has arrived. Oh, bullet hell! Come over here. I would prefer if you came over here. Is this... Hold on. Is this... Like, I know what the song is, but I'm trying to remember. Is this... open source? Is this free to use? Probably on the Resident Evil 2 remake. Shit. I need that. I could see myself reviewing the Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah. I did it for Resident Evil 7. I'll probably do it for that too. I still have to do the full review on Killer 7. That's in the works. There's just a lot in the works. I'm holding off the Killer 7 a tiny bit only because I gave my opinion. Everybody knows what it is, but I want to do its due diligence in terms of like how good of a game it is. Okay, so the conductor's over here. Okay. No new character. Okay, yeah, it's public domain is what I was wondering, and if it's public domain, then fine. I feel like, okay, so this is the second level, right? Like we've had a boss. But I'm already at the edge of the skills. So that's a little strange to me. It is a beautifully weird game, and honestly, it's weird because it's a cult status, but I don't think people realize how well designed it is. Like, looking at everything that, like, looking over the footage, like, just realizing why all the decisions were made the way that they were, I'm just sitting there going, man, I did not realize how well, like, I know Pseudo51 was a good, like, game designer, but I don't think I realized how clever he was until seeing that. Any fighting games I'm looking forward to, or backwards to. I admit I'm not as much of a fighting game person. Really the one that I played a lot of is Skullgirls. But yeah, I can't. I mean, I'll probably pick up Mortal Kombat 11 because I actually do like the story modes in those games. And just for the fact that there's something to the brutalities and the fatalities. Like, I picked up Dragon Ball Z Fighter. It was good for a little bit, but Okay. What is the mechanic here? Just really, really patient. I'm not sure what the mechanics is to unlock colors. Yeah, but I don't necessarily want to pick up all those skills. Like, I don't want plus damage, less melee range. I like the melee range I have. Like, the theme is, like, weird, too. Like, oh, octopus and teacups and cupcakes? Oh. Is there smaller indie fighters that are coming out? Not that I'm aware. Yeah, it's hard to trust WB on that. I admit on that one. The Mortal Kombat 10 port was eh. The Melon King is rising. Okay, so we're already at another boss. Jesus, there's a lot of enemies now. Look at all... Yeah, okay, so he is the Melon King. There's a lot of frickin' melons. All right. I think that's going to call it for the... Well, now that I've unlocked... See, now I can unlock this. But that means... So this seems like an early access game, but it's not marked as early access. So that's a little weird. Wait, so I don't start with a weapon? I don't even start with an 8 HP. Okay, that's weird. Alright, I'm actually going to call this stream at this point. So, my final thoughts. There's some... For a one-man development team, I'll give it this. It's got some good presentation elements. It's a unique with its boomerang element, but honestly, unfortunately for Night of the Blood Moon, it just doesn't have that staying power. Again, somebody put it... reasonably early on in the stream. You know, why would you play this over Enter the Gungeon or, you know, Binding of Isaac? Really, you wouldn't. They're, like, the melee combat, it's been done better. The boomerang effect, while interesting, there's just too many inconsistencies in the gameplay here. In particular, the fact that the game doesn't really teach you anything, but also will be unfair with you at times. So... I like the color, the color schemes, although I don't like things like the cursor not being able to change it. And I just feel frustrated playing this right now, as opposed to other games in the genre. So I would give this a hard pass. I don't like usually saying that. I usually like saying, oh, you know, it's for this group or this very, very subset group of people. But I I can't see it until it gets maybe more content or a little bit more polish around the edges. So that's going to be it for now. If you want to discuss things or talk to me about anything, I would advise joining the Discord. I will put that in the... Actually, I will just go and... Yeah, I know. I'm probably exploding. I like how he's just repeatedly exploding, but it's not hurting me. I'll put the Discord in the chat for those who want to join. And, you know, talk about things. But for now, I think I'm going to call it. Thanks for everybody for coming out. And I will see you later. The next stream will be Friday. It will be the Resident Evil 2 remake. I know I don't do AAA games a lot on this channel. There are exceptions to that rule when it's a AAA that I'm really interested in. And the Resident Evil 2 remake, yeah, I'm interested in that one. Because, yeah, I don't like the Destinies and I don't like the Call of Duties, but, yeah, Resident Evil is sort of my jam. So, I'll see you then. It's just going off. Just keep on exploding.